Thank you for the opportunity and dear students. So I just taken up this topic on mega structures. Okay, I'll just cover it in a very brief thing. What is mega structures? So what all mega structures basically? So you guys know this. So high magnitude of scale in terms of value, volume, everything in the cost and thing. High complexity because mega structures are always having a very high complex, in terms of, integration and then, discipline. All multidiscipline projects will be there on this. So this is the general terms of, mega structures. So basically we will be connecting lot of stakeholders in this thing, right from the customers, end users, the contractors, builders, designers and everyone on this. So multidiscipline, stakeholders involvement will be there on this. But for me, if you ask me what is mega structures, it is built with vision and courage. So this is what, it's not with the concrete or steel, but you have to build with a vision and courage. These are all the mega structures which is coming out of this. So what kind of a mega structures you can classify? You have urban buildings, very high tall structures. Okay, this is one of the things, in current scenario, we are started building up because of the narrow space availability in the urban areas. So currently, Tata Projects, we are already working with, 90-storied buildings in Mumbai. Okay, lot of, Mumbai's, skyscrapers are coming up now. So we are involved in the lot of, high-rise buildings on the large-scale industrial parks. So these are like, as somebody was mentioning, Micron, Agratas is a EV. These are all large industrial projects have started coming up. Even Professor Sathiyanarayanan was telling because of the increase in growth, there is a lot of things are coming up now. So this is one of the Tata is involved in the large projects like Micron in Ahmedabad, and then we are also building Agratas, the EV plant, the largest this thing, and also we are building one of the world's third largest hangar in Bangalore. This is for the Air India. Right, which is spanning across 285 meters. It is no span in between. It's a large span. You just imagine the kind of engineering requirement on this. This is the EPC contract which we are doing it. So these are all called as a mega structures. So it is underway on this, and a lot of greenfield and brownfield airports. So which are all having a complex nature of buildings, right from the construction, design, construction, execution, handing over and operation. So these are all the part of the large mega structure this thing. So greenfield, now it is Nile, that is a Noida International Airport, and then Navi Mumbai Airport. These are all the airports are already underway, which will be operation in very shortly in a short time. So these are all the one India's adding to the India's economical growth on this. So power and energy projects. So we have large sustainable projects are coming up in India. So it is adding value to us, as economic growth on this. So transportation projects, multimodal hubs, express highways. So in India, I think, in many part of the things, India has built up a lot of road projects in the last decades. I think you are aware of this, statistics. So every day 35 kilometers of road has been added to India in last 10 years. So that is the statistics. In going forward also is going to be a great opportunity in India, connecting a lot of even rural parts and things. So there is no dearth of in future projects are available. Extremely very good challenges are available in India. The problem is how are we going to execute this in future? That is a more challenge on this. So that's what we have to work on this. There are a lot of special projects like as Hariharan was telling, it is a Parliament building, Central Vista project. These are all special projects. It has been come up after thought of the government initiative on this. What are the key characteristics of mega structures? So basically high scale investment. Mega structures always will have a very high scale of investment and high exposure. So if you take up any project for example without any risk characteristics, the projects are long duration project. Some of the projects have even taken more than 10 years, but these are all for the based on the requirement or the the situations, all these things. These are all the in fact the guiding for this thing for the characteristics of the mega structures. Interface, heavy execution. So, for example, bridge which has been constructed in Jammu and Kashmir. So that is one of the highest bridge in the world. So that has taken a lot of time, almost more than a decade it has taken, but challenges with the respect to the geological conditions and other things. So that has taken up on this. So advanced engineering construction, where we can do this, where you need a lot of engineering to be done. These are all challenges. And then regulatory requirements or environmental, stakeholder sensitivities. These are all the key characteristics of any mega projects will be there on this. Going back to the life cycle of mega projects, so it is a typical life cycle where all the projects are there, nothing different. But only thing in mega structures, your involvement right from the beginning is very, very high. The concept and feasibilities are very, very important. So how will you do the concept of mega structures in the beginning itself, and then feasibility study. So you do a more planning in the beginning. Detailed engineering and design management. Somebody was asking about design, how will be there? Because such projects are required a deep study of design. What kind of a design can go inside, and whether the location identification, whether the project is suitable, viable for that location. So there are a lot of studies have to be done in the beginning itself. Okay, these are all the characteristics of the mega structures. And then life cycle is again procurement. What is the EPC, our procurement strategy for the project. And then coming back to construction methodology, schemes, what do you how you execute that mega projects, what is the time required, what is the time, what time available, whether we can do it in a short-term project. Because some of the projects are very, very, you have to put it into operation. For example, this hangar project in Bangalore, they wanted in 15 months time. So we have engineering itself, it takes 5 to 6 months, because it's a new approach we are doing it. So if you look into the 285 meter span, you have to design that unsupported on one side. Completely there is nothing is there. Only 2 column pylons on the both ends. Just imagine what kind of structure design has to undergo on this. So you have to do the design, BIM modeling, and then where all the flaws are going to be there. All this thing has to be analyzed in the beginning itself. So then you have to get into the design, and then you have to start executing this thing. There's almost commissioning and handing over at the end of the day. So design, as I was telling, that structural system, loading, consideration. These are all very key aspects of mega projects, because the more time you have to spend on the initial phases of design, and then execution. The solution, foundation solution, is one of the key requirements. Somebody was asking design so I said foundation engineering is one of the greatest area in future. It is available on this. So there you can do a lot of geological mapping, kind of a suitability of the structure, and then what economical solution you can bring it. So these are all the studies which you have to do is in the beginning. And then so that when you go for an actual execution, you will be out of all problems, and then you can go into that. So BIM, digital modeling, value engineering. So these are all some of the part of design requirements that's been done in the beginning itself. So these are all part of a digital solutions you are available today. And then design coordination across discipline. So BIM brings in one platform, do for BIM for civil engineering, do for in MEP services. And then when you start integrating, you will understand what all the problems you will face in this. And then you can, find the class, rectify it in the beginning itself before execution. So these are all the fundamentals of design engineering requirement on this thing. So construction methodology, this is one of the key areas for a large mega structures. Okay, so without making a proper analysis, how are you going to construct the structure? You will not be able to do that and the thing, execute actually on this. So spending more time on the construction methodology is very, very important on this, because construction methodology will make or break your entire project thing. It may damage your entire systems on this. So you have to be very, very hands-on on construction methodology. How are you going to approach in terms of how are you going to do the construction of this particular structure, what you are undertaking on this. So logistic plan, construction sequencing is very, very important on this, when you do this beginning. And also heavy lifting. Some of the projects are having a heavy lifting. So how will you do the heavy lifting each and every time, what kind of a crane has to be put. For example, it is a tall building. What kind of a crane you have to design? What is the weight of the element you are going to lift at each and every stage of the project? Because the logistic plan, if you are don't do that for the entire phase of the project, you may not be able to complete sometime if you do a mistake on that. Because sometimes you cannot able to approach with the crane also once you construct certain areas. So your sequencing has to be very, very well planned in the beginning itself. So these are all the areas I am going to do in the big project, and then I am going to construct this. So that will give you the very insight of without any flaws you can complete the project on this thing. So then come to temporary works. Again, any project will have a lot of temporary work support on this. So we are doing a project in Lothal. The temporary works is huge, more than the project involvement. If somebody can see that the amount of temporary works we have erected there, it is like a project. That itself is a big project there, to supporting structure on doing the museum portion of that. So that is what the temporary structures. Similarly, on a large span buildings and the marine, the temporary structures will be much more, the quantum involvement will be there. So those designs also you have to do it during construction methods and this thing. So and then again productivity benchmarking. So if you are doing a precast project, for example 10 kilometers of viaduct, so there's a match cast segments are coming. You should analyze what is the number of segments are involved in this and what is the time frame available, how much you have to do in a casting yard, how many per day you have to do, and then how many you have to erect it. So unless you do this analysis, productivity benchmarking, numbers what you need, so you will not be able to achieve the progress in what you can achieve in the time period. So this is a very vital area for any large project or any project. I am talking about, it's not only mega project, is a fundamental requirement of construction methodology. You have to take care of that in the beginning itself, what kind of a method we are going to adopt for the delivery of the project. So innovation and new construction techniques, I think everybody spoke about this area. So whereas civil engineering is still, it is very less innovated areas. There are a lot of ample opportunities are available going forward to this innovation and engineering construction techniques. Use the robotics for executing a project. How are you going to use that? There are a lot of ways, and people are started coming up, startups are coming up now. So these are all the areas where you can look into as a student, you have ample opportunities there in this. Somebody was telling how you are integrating with the construction, civil engineers and the IT engineers. These are all both has to be hand in hand to bring back the innovation technology for that. Cost and stakeholder management. Basically, this is again, any project will have, as I was telling, you also have to have eye on your budget, cost and everything, what you are going to spend, how I have to spend, whether what I am spending is right. So it is very important. Every stages we have to work on the cost this thing. So we have something called in project management end value management. So every time how much the progress has happened, you can go with the how much you have earned value, whether the project is on right track or you have to bring it back or you have to speed up. All these things it will be in you are ahead of schedule. Everything you will get to know on this. Cash flow is a very important, because today every client and every the owners of the building they wanted to understand how much I have to spend every right stage of that, because nobody is having in pocket the cash and then they are ready amount they are ready to spend on that. You have to have a beautiful right plan in the beginning itself. Every month what I have to spend, what I have to build, what I have to spend onto the project. So it is very important for you to take it forward, and then as a part of a cash flow management is things. This can impact our entire project. If so all of a sudden you ask them give mega projects, you give me 500 crores. So from he cannot bring it on that. So you have to, unless you tell in advance that I am going to bill it next month 500 crores. So he cannot arrange for that. So these are all the cash flow management is very important on this. Sometimes that may delay the project also. You have to be very mindful of that in the giving the thing. And then stakeholder management. Any project you will have client, consultant, contractor, government bodies, utility, third party, communication framework. These are all the things which is required for how you can establish a community working in a project. So all have to be work in tandem for the project to realize the dream of the project. So you have to work. So you can, there are something are available called stakeholder management register, what way you can, make your communication management. So all are available in, in the systems. So it says, you can plan it in the advance itself. Supply chain management. So this is how are you executing the packages? How are you going to complete the project? So in terms of, subcontracting or, the labor contracting, how are you going to engage this? So this is very important for you, to work on this. And any project, sometime, you'll have a long lead items. For example, diesel generators or, transformers, which is required, large, MEP equipments, lifts. It's all made for each projects are different. So you should have a plan in the beginning itself, when I have to order this and then when I have to bring it to the site. It is very important for us to plan that, in advance itself. So these kind of things will be much useful for, this thing, especially the large project, large time-bound project. You suppose you place the order for something equipment, it may not be viable at the end, for the supplier to, to maintain the prices at the end. You required after 2 years, you place the order in the beginning. So, but the prices may not be viable. So you have to understand mindful how are you going to do the cost of escalation, cover it up, everything you have to take care of this. So supply chain is one of the key areas for any project. It is not only a mega project, any project you should plan everything in the beginning. So what I am going to do, in this project, how much portion I am going to contract it, and what I am going to contract it, to get the project get completed. So everything has to be done in the beginning itself. Proper planning has to be done. So the planning is very important in the structure, which I will come back to you in later. Safety, quality, risk management in a structure. In civil engineering, safety is a very key areas. So we have to, safety is one of the key areas which we have to address this. So all safety plans and everything has to be done, whether we are going to lift it safely, all our in case of a lifting, in case of a placing, are we doing the right method of safety wise, all our safety tools and tackles, or whether it is intact. All this thing has been planned in the beginning itself, and then take it forward during the actual execution of the project. But it is not only HSE is there, it is everybody has to look into that during the phase of the contract, check that whether it everything is happening safely. So you have to understand that and then go it forward. So quality is one of the area where there is a lot of requirement is there. The quality is not only the activity of the site engineers. It is all right from the design. It starts from in fact the conceptual to the delivery of the things. Quality cycle is involved on this. Risk and identification, mitigation, planning. This is another area, because some of the new project, first time project, you don't know what all risks you can expect on this. So for example, they built a Statue of Unity. So they don't, because it was no similar project has been done earlier. There is no historical data is available what the project had problem. But only thing, they have to at least, identify what kind of a risk can come. They can only assume on that, and then they can plan for that. But something which can come new, which they have not have planned. So, but they have to undergo and then take a solution and then go forward. So the new projects, any first time project always will have a problem of, this risk element. So you have to understand and, mitigate that risk and then account for that risk. It's very important for this. So any change, if you do it in the beginning, it is good. So that, the cost of changes will be very less. But when you go at the far end of the project, you want to change something, it is going to damage everything, because the cost of change sometimes will be equal to the project value also, or more than the project value also. So you have to be very mindful in the beginning itself, get all the requirements in place properly before even designing the the project on this. So this is the very important thing, which is the project management. PMBOK, say Management Institute says that this is the 5 processes they have defined for any project. It is not only for a civil engineering project, any kind of a project. They have this process systems of their, starting from initiation to the closing. So it is a big topic that we can't cover it in a very strong thing. But out of this, planning process is one of the key areas which I will suggest you to understand from the beginning, because it starts from even the initiating phase to the closing phase. The entire phase, the planning is covered on that. The planning process is very vital for any project, including mega projects. The more you time spend on the planning, so your projects will be take off very smoothly, because the project problems will be easily you can resolve that. So this is a common 7M theories are there for any structure. It is not only for mega structures. So men, material, machinery, money. Okay, this is minutes, and this is nothing but time, method, and management. So these are all the key theories. This thing, it is now 2 more have been added now. It is Mother Earth, because sustainability is being added now, and also additionally for the marketing people. So it is becoming 9 M's now. Okay, so these are all vital things for in any project life cycle you have to undergo this. So emerging trends and integration, I think everybody talked about Hari and Keshav talked about this one. So these are all one of the key areas where civil engineering can be developed much faster. So as on today, if you look into that as a Tata Projects, we are we are into 20-25% of the projects we are doing into the BIM modeling. We are moved towards that. So there are digital project deliveries is happening slowly on that, because this is the one which will give in future, because the manpower is depleting. There are so many things are happening, so we have to depend on certain things. How we can do this project on this. This is the one which is a 3D, 4D and 5D. Okay, these are all the things which is already happening very close onto that any project. So this will give you more control units on your project. So if you are able to visualize and then do everything on the model, you are out of all your major problems. So it is very, very, very important. This today there are some softwares are available in this. The only thing how to use that is very important for your projects on this. So this is the one which I was talking about. This is a new project which is in Noida International Airport. This is a greenfield airport. It has been coming up with a 70 million passenger capacity, 5,000 acres of land area, and then these are all currently the status job is it is already testing has been completed, and then anytime it will be inaugurated for the thing. So this is also being constructed by Tata Projects. It is a greenfield airport. This is the one of the I think this all you guys are aware of this. This is the one which has been constructed to reduce the time between Navi Mumbai and Mumbai. So it is almost 21-22 kilometers of area connecting these areas. So main significant idea was to reduce the travel time on this. So it is already in operational. So this has been constructed by Tata's joint venture with Daewoo of South Korea. So our portion was something around 11 plus kilometers was there. 11 and odd kilometers has been constructed. So the speciality of the project is, I'll show you a slide. It is more than 3 lakh cubic meter of concrete was there, and more than close to 8,000 tons of steel were involved in this structural steel. Drone shot. That's why there is no music on that. So both it was the land portion both was there in that. So this is a part of the land. So these are all the quantum of work involved in the project. There is almost 3.5 lakh. 35,000 steel deck. So meticulous planning has gone into the project. It is most of the projects are offshore and thing. Longest span was 180 this thing. It is a clear cap. Height was also 31 meters. So this is the new Parliament building, which is, I think you guys are know this as a part of a Central Vista. So it's been inaugurated. So Statue of Unity, these are all the things which is the projects which are already completed as a part of mega projects. You all know that what kind of challenges were there in the project. So bridge, this was I was talking about the highest this thing. So you can reach between the Katra to Srinagar in just 3 hours. So again, this is also comes under a mega special projects. Okay. So no steel has been used in this project. I think no steel or iron has been part of this project. So all this, even the foundation was, roller compacted concrete. Nothing was, no steel product were used in this complete project. So that was a design basic, going back to the ancient thing. This is in Gujarat. This is the Kavda Renewable Energy Park, close to, neighboring country. So this will be the 30,000 megawatt, that is 30 gigawatts per power. So it's a project, total project value is 1.5 lakh crores. There's a huge this thing 800 million. So this is again this new trend is coming up of the increasing the power production. So other project is ongoing is 14.2 kilometers of Zojila tunnel. It is connecting Srinagar and Leh. So it is twin tunnels, means a single tunnel for both carriageways. So this will require only 20 minutes to reach from one end to other end. Otherwise it takes lot of time to connecting these places. And it is all weather accessibility will be there. So this is a project which is well known to everyone. So this is only a base project. It's been piloted by Indian government now. This is like this, there are many more high-speed rails have been planned in future, connecting all the major cities. Again, this is another project which is ongoing. It is in phases ongoing. Partly has been it is realized. So basically the port connectivity, inland transport, all things can be managed using this corridor on this. This is actually it is adding to the value of an economic growth here. So this is the one which I wanted to tell you that see, we are Indians are not new to mega structures, because even our ancient people have done the mega structures. This is the one project which has been done on a top-down construction. Till nobody knows what kind of tools they have used it, because there is no mistakes have been there in the project. It is in MP, Kailashnath temple. Again, this is the one, there is no steel has been used. So it is only using the interlock blocks, 216 meter high. Okay. This is a very, and the top is 183 tons of single stone. How they would have erected olden days. This is a very challenging one. So we have to learn from them. Actually, we are those days without any civil engineering separate field, but they have constructed this thing. Again, similarly, Puri Jagannath. So this is again, somebody says 5,000 year old. We don't know. Still, histories are not available proper, I think. So these are all why they have constructed the kind of they had this knowledge those days. Still we are in, it's a mystery to us, because even this the flags are flying opposite direction of the wind direction. So that is one of the things nobody knows how. So that is the one which we have to understand that their knowledge why it is happening. We don't know this. Similarly, on Konark temple also, it has been built very neatly and nicely. Any questions? Thank you. Any questions?